I was once in a church. After a while, God clearly and audibly told me it was time to move. It was time to leave. But each time I heard that directive, I would bind the devil. I said, no, this is not God's voice. Why would God ask me to leave here? I'm the church secretary. I have power. Why should I leave this church? So I refused, totally blocked my ears. But the directive, the voice kept on coming. I would be lying if I said I did not hear God tell me to leave, but I refused. After a while, I had some problems, some issues with the branch pastor, making my life very, very difficult. I kept on praying, Lord, soften his heart towards me. The more I prayed, the more that pastor's heart was hardened towards me. It got so bad that eventually I did have to leave. Immediately I left that church, 4 to 6 weeks maximum. Doors began to open. I started the Bible with Tina. I started 1 Minute with Tina. I joined Instagram, joined TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and the rest, as they say, is history. If I had not left, I would not be doing any of this today. That's a fact, because I did not have this as a backup. I did not have any of this as a plan. I was comfortable being just in that church. Sometimes God will tell you to move because it's your comfort zone. You don't want to leave there. Just like me, you'll be binding the devil. You will say, no, this is not God's voice. Why should you leave? You need to obey. Once you have that spirit of discernment, you know for a fact this is the Lord speaking to you. You need to obey. You can ask God for a sign, as Gideon did. Prove to me, Lord, that you are the one speaking to me. You can ask for a sign, as Hezekiah did. Prove to me, Lord, that you are the one asking me to move. Once you get your confirmation, you need to obey. You need to heed that voice. You see, Abraham, he was from a wealthy background, but God told him, leave this country, go to where I will show you. When he packed his load with his wife, he didn't know where he was going, but he obeyed. And today in Pentecostal churches, we always sing, Abraham's blessings are mine. If he had not obeyed God, would we be singing that today? If Sarah had refused to go with her husband, she will not be one of the women of the Bible today, but she went along with her husband. So sometimes you might think, no, I don't want to leave here, I'm comfortable. You do have to heed the voice of God. A friend of mine, she was living here in the UK, and always she kept on hearing God tell her to go back to her country in Africa, go back to her country in Africa. Of course, she thought it was her village people trying to draw her back. She resisted. Each time she submitted her documents at the immigration center, then she would be refused. Each time she submitted it, she would be refused. Eventually, she had to leave London. She went back to her country. She wrote to us barely 6 months after she got back. She got a job as an ambassador. So now what does she do? She flies all over the world, first class. The UK, where she was clinging on, trying not to leave, she comes here, first class. She stays in the 5-star hotels. She's being treated as a queen. She flies all over the place. She told us that, see, I was fighting to live in my pokey 1-bedroom, not knowing that God has bigger plans for her. Anytime she wants to come to London now, she comes in, she's free to enter, free to go out. She goes all over the place. We are here, stuck here. But she's living life. You see, she didn't want to obey, but God had his way of making it. If God loves you, he will have his way of making you, pushing you until you do leave that place. So, like when I met my husband, he was in Ghana, I'm here. I had to get on that plane to fly out to meet him. We got married, he was able to come here with me. Some people told me, Tina, no, you don't need to go. Don't go to Ghana, let him come here. I said it's much easier for me to go there than for him to come here, because I'm just going like on vacation. They will say, no, don't go, just stay behind. But I had to move. I knew what the Lord was telling me. I knew what God was telling me. I moved. I got on that plane and I went out there. And the rest, as they say, is history. So some things might not be comfortable, some things might not be, doesn't seem right to you, but do pray about it. You are praying about a job. Maybe God is telling you to move to a certain location, but you don't want to move. Maybe that's where your job is, where you're going to be successful. You don't want to leave where you are. You said, no, this place is fine. You never know what God is telling you. So always listen to the voice of God. Be discerning. That's very important. Be very, very discerning and obey. God knows what is right for you. He's not going to give you a stone if you ask for bread. He's not going to give you a snake if you ask for a cup of tea. He knows what is right for us, what is best for us. So do try to heed. Don't suffer unnecessarily. I suffered for 9 months at the hands of that pastor before I eventually left. I put myself through needless heartache. Almost every evening I'll be crying at home, saying, I don't know what I've done. Why is he treating me this way? God, what has he done? Soften his heart. But when I left and things happened, I went, oh, now I understand. God forgive me. God forgive me. So it's just a short message. Move if God asks you to move. God bless you.